Okay, before we take a short break, I'd like to introduce Michael Moe. Michael has been part of the post-80s group that has been extremely active on the Facebook and in recent after KK and the planners from the Pearl River Delta came to Hong Kong and launched their plan. They've been extremely critical, so I'm going to ask Michael to explain in 5 minutes before we take our break why and how and what his thoughts are.
Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. It's my second time to see KK right here in those public forums. And again, I will ask the same questions, but whether your answer will be taken in the later stage. After hearing Ralph Bishop's saying that about the Zhuhai Guangzhou link, I would like to share my experience to take on that train before sharing my views on this stuff. Actually, I take 9:18 a.m. train from Shenzhen to Guangzhou East Station. It took me 44 minutes taxi, costing me 72 renminbi from Guangzhou East Station to Guangzhou South Station to take that XRL. And then when I get to that station, it happens there are automated ticketing machines, which you think, okay, you can use that for, just go there and take your note and then you can buy tickets. And then ends out is actually on maintenance, like this, okay? And there is another thing. When you take on that train, you have to buy the tickets 20 minutes in advance before the train departs. Even 5 minutes before that, sorry, there's no chance. And on earlier this month, actually, I went there, and then because all the automated ticketing machines have closed, I have to buy in those ticketing halls. And then on the left-hand side is actually selling to those Wuhan, Guangzhou high-speed rail tickets. There are like 6 lanes. And then on the right-hand side, you can see there are only 4 lanes. And you have to wait for an hour to buy for just the ticket and then ride to Zhongshan North for just like 20 minutes. So that's my experience when I got to try to go to Zhongshan and go to the factory to look for to check my products which had sold in Chinese New Year market. Anyway, yep. So why the post-80s are so suspicious or even having conspiracies on this project? First, it's because of name. Well, maybe you guys have read this English name is quite okay. This is quite acceptable. But when you turn out to translate the Chinese name of this project, it's actually a meaning called Action Plan on the Major Constructions at Pearl River Usui Livable Bay Area. So it's all about constructions. How would you incorporate or include conservation, that kind of effort? It's quite suspicious. And in terms of the content of this project, it's quite contradictory. Apart from those may KK heard of that called Greenway or the Blu-ray, you are suggesting also city hallways which are building up the Lu Fao Shan area to those tourists or those villages, you can just further develop that. And another project is called Hong Kong Shenzhen West Railway Link. Let me show you. Actually, this is the website of Hong Kong Highways Department, and when they are planning out the Hong Kong, Zhuhai, and Macau Bridge, they have ruled out the possibility of building a railway from Chek Lap Kok to Shenzhen or to Zhuhai as well. So I really don't know whether why they would just brought it up again. And that project has been turned down by highway department because of technical difficulties and because of the huge amount of reclamation required. But then it brought out. Oh my God. And for another thing, it has called, in the Bay Area plan, it suggests that there would be 3 more new towns, Bling plan, or at least 1 more in Hongshui-Q, 1 more in Kutong. But right now, the Kutong or the New Territory Northeastern planning is actually in the 2nd stage of public engagement. So why would that be incorporated in a study and then even like being approved by the state? We have yet finished our part of public engagement. So why would we turn that quick? Have we been forced to do so? I'm trying to dig deep into the project, into the studies, and I find several frauds or deficiencies about this project, and maybe Kekiling have heard of them. In the studies, it has said they have referenced 3 materials, 3 academic references. One from United Nations Habitat Agenda. Another one would be the Athens Charter, which is called, just a second, the International Agreement and Declaration by the National Institutes and Associations of Professional Town Planners with the European Economic Community. And actually, if you have reference to this document, Appendix A, this it requires a city planner to do 32 studies and researches in 11 categories, in 11 respects. But then it turns out you cannot match anything out that is fulfilled by these studies. And the last one, and the last material is referenced on my hands. It's called Livable City Scientific Evaluation Standards. And then it is actually suggested by the Beijing China Construction Consulting Company Limited, or the Chinese Cities International Association, that kind of like consultation associations in mainland. And then within those, and within that standards, is actually having a real quantifiable standards about how livable cities should be. But then you may heard of those wavings. You can heard of. Political accountability would be only 3 marks out of 100. Democratic monitoring system would be 0.6 over 100. Social harmony, 2 points over 100. And what is the most important mark within that reference material would be convenience of social life, which weighs about 30 over 100. I don't know whether it is a standard that should be accepted by Hong Kong side. I mean, come on. They're like, this studies is not academically relevant or valid. And when you are actually quantifying those standards without giving appropriate evidence or academic supports for that, how could we utilize this document into the studies and then actualizing it as a real plan?